Hello and welcome to this first look at X-Plane 11. This is the first of a series of X-Plane 11 videos that I plan to put out. This is the first time I load up the sim, and what I'll go through is the control setup, calibration of controls, the user interface, default aircraft, and setting up of our first flight. It's important to notice that this X-Plane 11 version is still a pre-release version sent out to the press and a few selected YouTubers and streamers. So please do remember that this is not the finished release version, so we might experience a few glitches and scratches. We'll see. Let's start by going into the settings. And here we are presented with our controls with a picture of, in my case, my Cytec Pro Flight yoke. Let's start by calibrating it. Moving all the controls to their limits. Apparently this is both the yoke and a throttle quadrant calibration. Now centering all controls. Now calibrating my rudder pedals. Again moving all controls to their limits. And releasing the controls to center position. Now let's check the buttons on the yoke. Button number 6 is set to flaps up. I'll change that to pitch down. Button number 7 is set to flaps down, and I'll change that to pitch up. Then I'll change button 4 from pitch down to flaps up. And I'll change button 5 from pitch up to flaps down. Now let's go to the back side of the yoke and check that the buttons are set as desired. Moving on to the throttle quadrant. Let's go to the General tab. Here we can set the language, check different warnings, change output and flight model accuracy, and change the settings for aircraft damage. Let's move to sound. Here we can set the volume levels for interior and exterior sounds. Moving on to graphics. Here we can change the visual appearance of X-Plane 11, visual effects, texture quality, anti-aliasing, number of world objects, and reflection detail. Monitor configuration. Visual settings. Field of view. I'm not going to change anything here yet. Going to network. Here we can change the role of the PC from master to external visuals and instructor station. Let's move to output. Here we can output values to the screen for almost everything. Going to keyboard. And GPS hardware. Now let's start up our first flight. Here we can choose our location. We're at Tacoma International Airport in Seattle. We can change the weather here and the time underneath. Now let's take a look at the default aircraft, starting by the Cessna Skyhawk. We can change the livery. Cessna Skyhawk with floats. The Cirrus Vision. King Air 90. The Blackbird. MD-82. Sikorsky helicopter. Let's take a look at the weight and balance menu. We can change from imperial to metric values. Let's take a look at the failures menu. Here you can set different failures from the outside world, such as water in the fuel, puppy lights failures, and much more. In aircraft failures, we can set electrical failures, failures to lights, autopilot, and so on. Different instrument failures, engine failures, failures to the wings, I'm not sure what the failures to these nav aids means. Okay, let's go back and take a look at the remaining default aircraft. Boeing 747, Boeing 737, Beechcraft Baron 58, and the Ask 21 glider. Now let's choose the Cessna Skyhawk. and press Start Flight. As you can see, the user interface is very different from that of X-Plane 10. It will most likely take a little getting used to for hardcore X-planers, but most likely it will be easier for flight simmers that are moving over from Prepared or FSX than the old one in X-Plane 10. Anyway, it looks good, very smooth and elegant. Okay, as you can see here, there are a few glitches from a couple of the cockpit instruments. Let's put on our yoke. Let's take a look from the outside. Wow, this looks amazing. Check out those reflections, and they're even set to low quality. And the sound from that propeller and engine, they are really awesome. Let's move back into the cockpit. This was the first X-Plane 11 video of a series of videos that I plan on putting out. Thank you so much for watching, and please, if you liked the video, please share, like and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully see you next time, and until then, take care.